Hello, everybody. You are listening to No Limits PlayStation Podcast. Today, we're going to be chatting about the new Last of Us trailer. It looks super cool. We'll be talking about lots more stuff besides that. So I hope you'll come hang out with us.
What's going on here?
That was not it.
There we go.
There we go. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't tell which one is which because of how tiny the thumbnails are. The thumbnails are like genuinely this big.
Mm-hmm. We're leaving it in there though. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Kevin might make me edit it out. So if you don't know what we're talking about, Kevin yelled at me. He did not yell, but he probably did.
Yeah.
Okay, so for today we're getting goofy silly. So hello everybody. My name is Taylor, and today I'm joined by my co-host Sam.
Hello.
You're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast. Remember, you can find the video version of this podcast over on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. While you're over there, make sure you subscribe to the Save the Game Media channel. If you'd rather listen on audio, we are on all of your favorite podcast services, and we would love it so much if you could leave us a review. It does help us grow, and we also love feedback. If you want to support us and get early access to all of Save the Game Media content, you can head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose the tier that works best for you. It starts from like $1. So yeah, pretty good deal if I do say so myself. Our current patrons are Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Amon, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Anna Hudock, Nikolai at Night, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, and Mimi J. Please go over there to check us out. And yeah, you get a lot of good content over there. There's a bunch of exclusive shows. There's a post show for I Hate My Friends. You get stuff early, all the good stuff. But now that we've gone through all of that craziness, what have you been up to recently? What have you been playing? How are you? All that fun stuff.
Jokes on all of you listening. This is actually a Brianna's book bonanza. So welcome.
Yeah.
We're tricking you all. Just kidding. But do go check that out. We have the new episode out, Year of the Reaper. Just dropped a couple days ago. Today?
It dropped today.
Dropped today. So go check
today
that
when
out.
we're recording, so Sunday for
I see.
other peeps.
Yeah, for Sunday. But yeah, go check that out. But I am doing good overall. I just had a bad breakup with the video game I'm playing right now, which we'll get into during the what you play in section. But overall, I'm doing pretty good. I'm drinking some cheap gas station wine, so that's always great. Just got back from an impromptu Christmas celebration since we're moving. So we had like an early Christmas with my in-laws. So that was really fun. Did that last night. It was a great time.
Okay. That's good. That's good. I'm glad that you're having a good time. I just realized yesterday that I've never been to a holiday party. And I feel really weird about that. Because everybody's like even just like this year, like my dad is like he just went to his third holiday party today already. And I'm like, I've never even been to one, I don't think.
I don't get
like there's been some celebrations and stuff. Like we've done holiday, for example, in high school, we did marching band celebrations like during marching band class.
Yeah.
But we did it like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've never really understood the draw of holiday parties. Like it's either your family gets together and you have a holiday. Like that's how it's supposed to be. I feel like holiday parties are for people that don't really know each other that well. So you just go there to mingle and it's
for like work and stuff.
It doesn't sound fun to me.
No, it doesn't. I do have to say I am going to a holiday party I believe they're labeling it as a holiday party. Excuse me, I just dropped my lip gloss. I think it's in January, like January 15th-ish, somewhere around there, for my work. And the reason I'm going is because they're giving us free custom-sized dresses from the website.
Free dresses?
Free, yeah. Our budget was like $130. So I ordered a custom-sized dress for myself.
So they bribed
I'm
you.
wearing to this party, yeah. Absolutely.
that works.
I was like, you know what? Fancy dress for free that's also custom size. Sign me up.
Yeah, bribery works. I'm
So
just telling you, folks,
it
bribery
did it
works.
did work. I'm not even gonna lie about it. It absolutely did work.
Mhm.
So I will be going to that holiday party. But yeah, what have you been playing recently?
Oh dear. Well,
Is this gonna be another of our tea sessions? I do
no,
have milk tea.
I think we are gonna do a full-on review of this game, so I'm not gonna go
Mm.
crazy on it. But first, I do want to point out Sea of Thieves. Been getting that back into that. Love that
It's been
game.
getting you in trouble too.
Been getting me in trouble because I've been late to some podcasts. Because if anybody has ever played Sea of Thieves before, and I know that, oh, this is a PlayStation show, you're talking about an Xbox. It's on PC too. People love Sea of Thieves on PC, so everyone relax. It's a great video game. I love it. But you can't. It's very much one of those mom, I can't pause this game type of games. You know,
Uh-huh.
you can't just pause and save and quit out. You're in an active session where you're getting loot and stuff like that, and you have to go turn that loot in, or if you quit out, then you just have to restart the next session. So definitely gotten in trouble there, but it's been a blast. Loving that game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I'm still going crazy on.
Mm.
I'm a COD kid again. It's so much fun.
Does
And the
it feel
third game,
nostalgic? I'm almost wondering, like, 'cause
it feels
you said
nostalgic
you're
in
a
this.
COD kid, so I'm wondering
Yeah,
if it's, like, pulling any of that.
it feels nostalgic in the sense that I'm playing Call of Duty again, like every day regularly, which that's not
Mm,
something I've done in since I was a kid. In terms of it being Modern Warfare 2, no, it's a completely different game. Like it's completely separate from the original Modern Warfare 2.
right.
But I love it. The UI is trash, but that's with every modern video game. So, but the gameplay is
Mm,
awesome, and there's so many cool different maps that they're doing. There's so many game types, DMZ, Warzone. Been jumping into that. It's been a really good time. But the game that I've been focusing most of my attention on this last week is Callisto Protocol, which I believe you've been playing that too.
yeah, played and
Um,
beat.
I basically did everything I could to turn scary off on this game, so I cannot speak to horror of this game, so I won't. But I will say I
And
can
when he
speak to
means
the
that he
combat.
turned everything off, he turned on, like, color coding and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. I like turned on every random accessibility feature I could find that just
Yeah.
basically broke the game. But it's helping me get through it, so that's awesome.
Mhm.
But we can speak on the combat a bit in that it
Ugh.
works in some situations for me and it completely doesn't in others. And it's almost ruining the game for me. Coming near the I'm think I'm probably in like the third act. So near end game, and it's starting to become a slog for me. But I'm sure we'll talk a lot more on that during our review. But yeah, what have you been playing? I want to hear what you've been playing.
So I had like a lull where I was just waiting for Callisto because I was so excited about this game. Um, so I have been playing Callisto Protocol, um, and I have to say, within like the first, what was it, like 30 minutes? Okay, so when you are playing the game, there's a beginning at the part at the beginning of the game where you basically encounter your first enemy and kind of get a taste of the combat system. Literally, like the first enemy you get to. Um, it took me. I spent genuinely over 30 minutes on that enemy. Genuinely over
Yikes,
30 minutes
that's a
trying
long
to figure
time.
out the combat system where I was like, okay, I clearly don't know what I'm doing. But the thing is like you don't have to get hit. I think you get hit twice and you're dead at that point in the game. So I spent about 30 minutes trying to figure out the combat system, finally got pissed off, and decided that it was probably best if I just turn on the auto dodge feature. I will say the unfortunate part about the auto dodge feature is it turned down the scariness of the game for me a lot because
Yeah,
if an enemy comes or runs at you, all you have to do is pull back on the left stick and it'll dodge automatically for you. And so I couldn't play this game without auto dodge, but playing the game with auto dodge kind of also ruins the game in a different way, but it at least made it playable for me. So it was just really frustrating to like have these two pieces kind of like hit heads, I guess, like bump
yeah,
heads, whatever that phrase is, and I just got so angry about it. Um Other than that, yeah, I'll talk more about it in the review, but I beat that game. It took me I started Thursday night and I just beat it yesterday, like midday or no, I beat it like last night, but earlier in the night.
yeah.
Um And I want to say, like, I'm kind of like shitting on it a little bit, but I just was
Mhm.
really frustrated because it wasn't like the combat experience was so terrible for me. The game wasn't what I wanted it to be, but it was still a good game. I will solidly say that this is a good game. It's not a
Yeah.
great game. It's not the best game I've ever played. It's not the scariest game I've ever played, like they were pretending it was. It's
Mhm.
a good game. Solidly good. So yeah, that would be my like overall impression
Yeah.
past the anger of the combat system, which really got me cranked last night at the last boss. So that's
I
why I
think
kind of fell high on it.
I think the other thing we should address about this game, because it's been in the media a lot and it's affecting a lot of people's decisions on whether or not to buy it, is the performance issues and the optimization for
Mm,
the PC port specifically. PC port has had numerous issues. I believe they patched most of it though. So if anybody is still on that mindset of the game's unplayable, it seems like they patched it pretty well. I haven't seen any complaints about it yet, but it is fairly new. Xbox version did have some issues, some frame rate drops. It was mostly near the beginning, though, when you were getting those big cutscene moments.
mhm.
Throughout gameplay, very rarely did I have frame rate drop. But overall,
Yeah.
yeah, the performance has been an issue for a lot of people, but it seems like they've buttoned it up a little bit. And I don't know if PlayStation really got affected. I heard
No, so
some people, but they're saying that it was fine.
the order of like performance was like so it's like PS5, then Xbox, then
Then
PC in
PC
terms
was
of
the worst.
performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was also like a pretty big gap for a while between like PlayStation and Xbox performance where basically like the PlayStation version had no issues whatsoever for at least what I've heard,
Yeah.
and I had I had never experienced any lag in frame rate. I never experienced any weirdness. There was one time I pressed crouch and he like turned around weird. That was like literally the only thing
Yeah.
that ever happened. So I didn't have any like bugs or anything like that or performance
Yeah.
issues. So
I did
PlayStation is
have a
probably the way to
few
play this.
yeah, I did have a few moments where, like, I killed enemies or something, and they fell over, and they clipped
Mhm.
into a wall and bugged out and started freaking out, or their limbs were really stretched apart. Like,
Ah,
those classic
I did
sort
not
of
do that.
physics engine glitches that you see. That happened a few times on Xbox, but really it happens
Mm,
so rarely that it didn't take me out of anything. And honestly, I welcomed it because again, it took me even more out of the
the
experience in terms of
horror.
horror.
Yeah.
Like I want no horror in my horror video games. I'm terrified. I'm very
Mhm.
sensitive to it, but I still want to play it for the story. But
Yeah.
overall, it seems like it ran very well in terms of gameplay. It was really just cutscenes where it was like, okay, this is just chugging really bad.
Mm,
But hopefully they've patched most of that as well. I haven't
yeah.
gotten an update yet, but my thing's set to auto update, so it could have happened while I was sleeping or something.
Mm, yeah. So yeah, I think like if you're looking for a good game, you need a game to play. I think it's a good game. Be warned that the last boss fight is a pain in the ass. Um, I'm telling you, I was very angry at it. But I did beat it and it is possible. So,
Yeah. I mean, and December, there's not a crazy amount of games coming out. We
mm-mm.
talked about it before the show. I think Crisis Core is coming out. People are excited for that. But High on Life, that's for Xbox players like me. I'm going to be all over that. But if you're in the middle there and you're not really excited about either of those projects, I think this is a cool game to pick up and play through. I think it's worth your time.
Yeah.
Um, obviously, yeah. Make sure you look into this game a lot before you watch a lot of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler free, of course, so you can get the story. But the combat system can really rub people the wrong way, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, so after I finished that, and actually before I finished it, because I was kind of getting mad at the game, so I took breaks in between.
Yeah.
I randomly decided to start playing Horizon again, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
I'm starting over from the beginning. I checked my save from my PlayStation 4. I haven't played this game since 2017, and I put about 30 hours in the game.
Wow. 30.
So yeah, so I was like, I kind of understand what's going on, but I don't want to jump back into this save because that seems like probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
Um, so in this next lull, because like I don't have any really games coming out until the end of January that I'm interested in. So in this next lull, I just figure I'll go through Horizon Zero Dawn, I'll go through Frozen Wilds. It was like $5. It was a sale for like 50% off. So I got Frozen Wilds, got that downloaded. I'll go through that, figure things out, and that should keep me occupied for quite some time. So yeah.
You bought the Frozen Wilds?
Mhm.
That was free on PS Plus.
It's $5 for them.
Come on, you got to make the deals.
I mean, you're not wrong, but also I like supporting developers.
I think these guys have enough support.
I don't know.
They're about to have a VR game
I mean,
come out.
it was
Forbidden
just like
West
it was
blew up.
literally like on the item page for like $5, so I just clicked on it. I was like, sure,
Okay.
whatever.
Convenience charge, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'll be playing for the foreseeable
Very
future.
cool. Yep.
I just was thinking about Final Fantasy 14. I haven't checked on that game in a while, so there might be some new patches coming out, so I might jump back into that. But
Oh yeah.
we shall see. We shall see what happens. So let's go into news item number 1.
Ooh.
HBO Max's The Last of Us has released the first official trailer. Ethan, have you watched this yet?
I have not, and I was going to ask you, do you want to watch it live on here and do a little react? Because I will deal with the copyright claim that we're evidently going to get, but it should be okay.
It has some pretty popular songs in it.
Oh,
Like, it has Take On Me in the trailer.
music I can't do. No, music
Yeah.
companies do not play around. It's the video companies I can get us out of. All right, so maybe
Yeah.
not. But no,
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
It's very, like, lightly in the background, and it's kind of like a warped version, but you can still tell there's that one, and then there was one other song that was playing,
Okay.
that I was like, "This is weird. Like, why is this song playing right now?"
That
But
is an interesting song to play for the last take on.
it was so weird. You should hear the version of it too. I was like, "Sure, they're trying to make it spooky, I guess."
Yeah, yeah. Try to like looking at the music
Uh,
of the game, just that like kind of long that bowstring like
mhm. They did
like
they
creepy.
did get back into the regular music towards the end of the
Okay,
trailer,
I
so I
see.
was
Yeah.
like, "Alright, this is what I was looking for the guitar. Why were we getting
Yeah.
crazy here? Like, come on." I highly recommend that you watch it, especially since you've played the first game.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be able to get a lot of references. I kind of edited our like description because there were some spoilers for the trailer and for the
Okay.
kind of for the game slash story in the article that I'm pulling from today. So I kind of edited
Yep.
it a little bit, but you should go watch it. Okay, so this is coming from Adam Bankhurst at IGN. So, HBO Max's The Last of Us has received its first official trailer, and it's given us our best look yet at the adaptation of the PlayStation Classic, including looks at many of the characters from the game and plot details. The trailer is a treat for fans of the original PlayStation game, but it also does a good job of setting up exactly what this new series will be about for those who aren't familiar with the source material. Season 1 will consist of 10 episodes and looks to mainly cover the events of the first game. However, the creators have confirmed there will be certain parts that, quote, deviate greatly, end quote, from what came before. So, are you excited? Are you going to watch this? For sure, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just fixing my camera real quick.
No, you're
Yeah.
good.
I'm watching this for sure. I have very, very high hopes for this show. The showrunners are Neil Druckmann, which of course is the game director on The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. Last of
Mhm.
Us Part 1 I just played through earlier this year, and I absolutely love the game. So I think he's a great talent. And then the other showrunner is the guy from HBO. Forget his name. I'm not good with names. You know this
Mhm.
if you watch Book Bonanza. I'm terrible with names. But he's also the guy that directed Chernobyl, which is absolutely the best HBO show that I've ever watched. So ever since I seen the sneak peek for this, ever since I seen the images that were leaked for it before they showed it at the Game Awards last year,
Mhm.
or Summer Games Fest this year, I forget. It was one of the Jeff Keighley shows. But I'm super stoked for this. I think this is probably going to be the best video game adaptation show ever. I'm just going to say it right now. If it gets
Yeah.
the proper HBO treatment, I don't even need to watch the trailer to be sold on it, but I do want to watch the trailer just to see little snippets of the performances from the cast. I want to see how they do in this world and this environment. And I'm also hoping for another appearance of a clicker. Don't tell me. I want to see. Don't tell me, but we'll see. I'm really interested to see
You should
more.
watch the trailer.
Okay. I really want to see more of the infected. And I know people are like, aren't you terrified of zombies? I am, but I can tolerate it to an extent when it comes to movies because I'm detached from it or
There is
TV or something
one
like that.
enemy type, we won't get into it. There's one enemy type that I
Oh,
personally can't handle, and they finally showed it, and I was like,
oh,
"Nope,
are you talking about the
I'm out.
stalkers?
Nope."
The big guys? The tanks? Oh, I hate those.
Oh,
Oh,
they showed one, and I
woof.
was like, "Oh, no."
The scariest moments I think are gonna come from the stalkers. If they do those right in the show, like how they did it in the game,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
like I said, I just played the remake, and those
I
stalkers
don't
are
think
the
it'll be as
scariest part of the
scary,
game.
but
I
I
don't
think
think you
it'll be
could be as
scary.
scary as playing the game,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, that scene itself is going to be dark. You're going to be somewhere underground. It's going to be terrifying. I'm really excited.
Uh-huh.
I'm also interested to see what deviates greatly. What
Yeah.
parts of the story beats are going to deviate greatly? Because I'm trying to
Well,
think in
we
my
know that they're
head.
pulling from Left Behind a little bit, so I think that they're
Okay.
going to
Yep.
intersperse like playbacks with the actual show. So I think that'll be at least
Right.
part where they're like pulling from different parts of the story all at once. Other than that, I don't really know what's going to deviate greatly. I don't think we've seen anything from like towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like with the cannibals and stuff like that. I don't think
Hmm.
we've seen anything about that. So I don't know if they're covering that part or not. I kind of hope they do because I feel like that's like one of like the like story beats and like character beats. That's like one
Hmm.
of the best parts for me.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen anything from that, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I was going to say I don't know, like this might just be me, but there is like this part. So in the trailer, there's a part of like there where they shoot there. It's like a shot of Joel's face, and they're kind of like kind of panning around him. I knew exactly what part of the game that was. Like literally knew exactly what part of the game it was because I remembered that piece that because there's like an art piece behind his head, like in glass. And I was like, I know
Oh.
exactly where that is. That this
Yeah.
looks so much like the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing that they have Neil Druckmann on board. I think that's why it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be such a good adaptation because you have the
Mm-hmm.
guy that directed the game, so he's gonna tell you where the set pieces are and what the locations look like, and that's
It's gonna be
awesome.
so good.
It seems like there has been a lot of collaboration between the game developers and the showrunners, which
Yeah.
you do not always see that with
Mm-mm.
film adaptations or television
I
adaptations of
think we're
shows.
finally starting to see that now, where we're
Yeah,
finally seeing like because a lot of the times people would purchase rights to books, rights to video games, stuff like
they do
that. They would
whatever they
take
want with it.
away,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, "Well, the author can't work on this. Like, we know better.
Yep.
We know how to make
They're
movies. You
making it for
don't."
TV audiences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it would flop
Yep.
really hard because they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of seeing a lot of those. I was just talking about this yesterday. There's a lot of adaptations coming up. Like Percy Jackson is getting an adaptation for Disney Plus, like TV show. And it's like Rick Riordan is working on the show. Like he's at the set locations, helping
That's
them
awesome,
film.
yeah.
Like he's there. The other one that we're getting that's going to get a TV show from Disney Plus is Aragon. And Christopher Paolini is
Oh,
heavily
they're
involved with
gonna
that as
redo
well.
Aragon because the
Yep.
movies were complete flops, at least
Yep.
in the book community. I liked him as a kid, but
I
that's because 'cause I'm a
love those
kid
books.
and I'm watching dragons fight knights and stuff, so as a kid, you
Ah,
love it, but yeah, that I remember
so
hearing
good.
from my mom, like, "These are terrible movies because she loved the
Ah,
books.
yeah. Um, yeah, it seems from what I've heard because Christopher Paolini has like a TikTok and a Twitter, and so I've been kind of following. They're still in early stages of like kind of discussing what they want to do with the show, but it seems like he's pretty heavily involved in making
It's good.
decisions and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we're starting to see like a lot of these adaptations like actually involve the creators, and I think
Mhm.
that we're heading into a really good era of like
Yeah.
TV and movies where we're like getting these like beloved franchises that are treated correctly. Like Wednesday just came out. That was a great one.
Yeah.
Like you just hand a franchise to Tim Burton and say, "Here you go. Go
Go
off."
crazy with it. Yeah.
That one I can't remember her name right now, but that also had like a Wednesday had a female writer.
I
I was
loved
very excited
Wednesday.
about that.
Such
It
a
was
good
really good.
show. Go check out
So,
Wednesday, y'all, on Netflix.
mhm.
It's very good.
Mhm.
Takes place in Jericho, Vermont. Love it. One of the only TVs or movies in the world to take place in Vermont.
Did they say that that's where it takes place?
It's in Jericho, and they said something about Vermont in there, and I know
Okay, they did
Jericho's
say
a
Vermont,
town.
but they made up this name of the city.
No, that's an actual town, Jericho,
No,
Vermont.
no, I mean like in the show, do they call it a different name? Because I couldn't remember the name of the
No, they
city
call
that
it
place.
Jericho.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it takes place in a real town in Vermont, which is up in Chittenden County, which is awesome. Love it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Love
definitely
it.
have to go. Um, as soon as you said that to me, I was like, "All right, we're going." I don't know
Well,
what we're doing up there,
Jericho's a
but we're
nice little
going.
town. It doesn't have a school for monsters, but I'm sure they'll
We
do
can
something
pretend.
touristy there. I'm sure they'll set something up for fans of the
Mhm.
show to do the pilgrimage to or something.
Absolutely. Okay, do you want to hit this one or do you want me to? It's a lot of reading, so I won't blame you if you
I'll
want me to
take
do
care of
it.
it. Let's see
Okay.
here. All right. Elden Ring devs say From Software engages in some level of crunch. Following the success of Elden Ring, a series of negative reviews of From Software surfaced on Twitter, claiming that the staff at the studio often faced excessive overtime and chronic dissatisfaction with pay. The reviews were originally published on the Glassdoor like Jobs board Career Connection between 2012 and 2019. With its increasing prominence in the West, many latched onto the mention of crunch in the reviews of From Software. It prompted Twitter users to fall into tired stereotypes of Japan as a country overwhelming overtime and exploitive work practices. GamesIndustry.biz spoke to a number of From Software employees, past and present, to gain a better understanding of how the issues raised affect those working at the Elden Ring developer. The studio does not permit employees to give interviews, whether they still work at From Software or not. As such, all sources wish to remain anonymous. One source was quick to refute the stereotypes of Japanese companies overworking their staff. Quote, the general industry in Japan is not that crazy compared to my experience in other fields. Japan has a lot of holidays, and there is a rule that From Software staff shouldn't stay later than 10 p.m. And 90% of the time, staff won't stay later than 9. This may not resemble the 9 to 5 most countries use as a baseline, but From Software in line with what does that say? In line with reforms to Japan's Labor Act, advertises its workday as lasting 8 hours, citing quote flexible working hours end quote, with core times between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Multiple sources concede, however, that there is some level of crunching at From Software. It appears to be variable by department, with one source telling us, quote, there hasn't been much overtime work for me, end quote. Another from a separate department said, quote, during critical periods of game releases, I often had to work early mornings and overtime for 2 to 3 months, end quote. This time period was echoed by another source while noting that while, quote, it's not as if crunch happens on a daily basis, end quote. It's more common during the ROM check of the publisher or 2 or 3 months before release. How is this overtime compensated? According to one source, overtime is generally included in the salary. After midnight, however, we were paid late night overtime, but that was half of our usual hourly rate. This comes from Jeffrey Bunting at gamesindustry.biz. So some evidence of crunch, some people saying there's not a lot of crunch. I don't know. Um, there's going to be a level of crunch, especially in AAA gaming when you have a game this big. But obviously,
This big, it's
any
huge.
sort of forced crunch is completely wrong. But
Mhm.
from all the quotes and all of the interviews that they did, it seems most of the employees either said, yeah, sometimes we work late, but they weren't necessarily complaining about it. So I don't know. There's a lot up in the air. I don't think we should just throw stones at it right away, but I
Mhm.
also don't think we should praise From Software for making their employees work past 9 p.m., 10 p.m., midnight, or something like that. The work culture is bad in all of game development, and it's getting better, and it needs to get better.
Mhm.
But I think this is just continuing a trend of these game companies continuing to crunch their employees, especially Japanese developers. A lot of them still do a lot of crunching that was more commonplace in the United States 5 or 10 years ago, but maybe starting to get a little better. So hopefully they catch up with how we want to see our game developers be treated, but we'll see.
Yeah. I thought this was definitely worth covering because I think that, like, it's something we have to keep a check on. Um, and it's something that we have to constantly be aware of because it's an issue that's not been fixed in the games industry yet. There are companies that have fixed the issue. There's companies that are working towards fixing the issue, but it's still an issue that is running pretty rampant in the games
Yeah,
industry.
like
And I think
Callisto
that
had some crunch.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So yeah, and I think that until this is something that is resolved, and I don't know necessarily what all of the right answers are, but I think it's going to be something that we continue to cover, and I think we've said that before, but yeah, I just don't think that it's healthy, especially over an extended period of time. If it's something like
Yeah.
volunteer based, it's like 2 months, 3 months. I think that that's
Hmm.
okay, and I think that if it's like a passion based crunch where it's like we really want to get this done,
Yeah.
then I understand. But
The
when it's like
main
that
thing
forced, it's like, ugh.
Yeah. The main thing that bothers me is that the quote at the end, we were paid late night overtime, but that was half our usual hourly rate. In what world do you pay people less for working more? That's disgusting to me. Okay. I don't know if that's something with Japanese labor laws. I don't know how
Yeah,
that all works, if that's a thing.
I don't like that.
In the United States, when you work overtime, normally, if you're an hourly paid worker, you should be getting time and a half. or maybe
Mhm.
even more if your employer is generous. If you're working a job where you don't get extra money for working overtime, it's a terrible job. I'm sorry, you have to be getting some more
Mhm.
money if you are going to work overtime. To and if it just said that they didn't pay us more, I would still be a little upset, but I would be like, okay, well, it is what it is. But half of your hourly rate when you go past midnight,
I
that's
almost wonder
crazy to me.
if it's like a discouragement, like, "Don't
It
work."
could be. And that's
Like
what I'm saying. I don't know the office culture from software. I don't think any of us know the office culture from software. And maybe the managers and management were seeing their employees effectively kill themselves making this game, sleeping under their desks. Like we've heard the horror stories of game development back in the day. And maybe they
yeah.
said, to encourage them to go the hell home and get some sleep and go get some food and stuff, we're going to tell them we're not going to pay you as much. Maybe that's a good way to look at it. But at the same time, I don't know.
Yeah,
Sometimes
no, I'm not
people
saying that
have to
it's
work
the
that
right
late.
answer, but it's
Yeah,
also like I'm almost wondering like because I know that the Japan's Labor Act is like a pretty big thing. That's like what they're talking about like where they have to be in line with this Japan Labor Act. So I don't
right.
know what the extent of this is. So I don't know if this like half pay is part of the law
That could,
in
yeah,
order to
that very
discourage
well could be a part
employees
of the
from
law.
working past a certain point.
Yeah,
Um I don't think that that works though because I think that companies can use that to get overtime from people and be paying them less. Like, it's almost an
exactly.
exploitative thing.
It's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about this. I do know, a little bit about Japan's work culture, especially, like, their, like, office culture where they are going into the office at, like, 9 AM and they're not leaving until, like, 9, 10 PM. And then they're also, like, after work, they usually go get drinks with their
Bonkers.
coworkers, and
Bonkers.
it's like a socialization yeah, anyway, so I know a little bit about it, so I know that they do have some crazy work culture stuff, crazy as far as, like, a Western perspective,
Yeah.
so, who knows? Who knows where that will go?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so I guess, like, that other my other question is, like, because 'cause they're talking about just, like, within their culture, so I wonder, like, if you compared like, if we were able to actually get real numbers and compare it to, like, a UK work culture or like an American work culture and like actually compare like how many hours they're working and stuff, I wonder what that would look like.
Yeah. I would also like to see what the comparison is between the development of Elden Ring and, let's say, Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2 or Sekiro. Like, are they making improvements on their work culture? You know what I mean? Like, if we can
Mm,
see those improvements, that would be good. But obviously, we're not going to get internal numbers. You never do unless there's some leak or hack or something like that. And that's
yeah.
not something I would ever want to encourage. But we're just not going to be able to see that. So
You know,
hopefully
I
they're doing better than they have.
I really I was that's actually really interesting. You're right. I really hope that they're working towards that.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't
it
think I
could be
have the
bad now, but, like, what was it 10 years ago? Was it
yeah.
horrifying 10 years ago? I would like to see those positive movements.
Yeah. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of games industry issues. I know there's a lot of issues with the animation industry as well in Japan, so
I mean,
I guess
film's
we
the
will
same way
see.
sometimes too. Like, any of those artistic or creative
Mhm.
sort of endeavors that people take on, that is a job that you don't really have set hours.
Yeah.
You do writing. I mean, there's no set
Yeah, but
hours
to be
on
fair, my brain
on
doesn't
writing.
work, like, until, like, 2 AM, and then it's like,
Yeah.
"Now you can write," and I'm like, "Bro,
Yeah.
it's 2 AM." So,
I'm
yeah,
sure
I
some
get
game
it.
developers are like that. They're like, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do for this area. 2 a.m. Boom, idea comes to them and they want to
Mhm,
work on it.
mhm. Absolutely. Okay, let's go ahead and hit this next one. This one's pretty short and simple. PlayStation has revealed the PlayStation Plus essential games for December. This follows a leak that leaked these games, and then they just were like, "Okay, yeah, you caught us." Oh wait, hold on. Excuse me. Let me pull my leak out.
Oh yeah, the leak.
The
There it
leak. Okay,
is.
there you
We
go.
have a leak appearance.
Divine Knockout Founders Edition, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, PS4 version, Biomutant, PS4 and PS5. And this comes from Adam Michael. I don't know how to say that at PlayStation blog.
Was there a Mass Effect Legendary Edition for the PS5? I feel like there was.
There might be one for the PS5, but this is like specifically the PS4 version. I don't
That's
know.
weird to me. Why not
I
just
wonder if
put
you have to pay
PS5
to
in there?
upgrade to the PS5 version.
But either way, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. If you haven't played the Mass Effects yet, go out and try it out. especially now that you can just download it. It's on Game Pass as well, so even if you're an Xbox player, you can get it. So damn good. Some of the best sci-fi RPGs ever created in gaming. Love it to death.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not really like I'm not a sci-fi person.
You might not like this then. It's very very sci-fi. There's a lot of politics involved. There's awesome combat. There's different species of aliens and there's dynamics between them. It's just there's so much going on in this world. So much lore to consume and I love it. I love it so much.
I mean, there's like 2 franchises I always get mixed up. And it's Mass Effect. What's the other one? There's another one that's like Mass Effect. I get the 2 of them mixed up all the time and I'm like, I don't know which one's
Special.
which.
Mass Effect Special. Whatever that other one is doesn't compare.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It does not compare.
I'll think of it later. Okay, let's go ahead and hit this next one, another short one. Go ahead, Ethan.
All right. Monster Hunter Rise is coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, and Xbox One on January 20th, 2023. The Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion will follow in spring 2023. Pre-orders are available now. Cool. I think I talked a little bit about this on Project X Talk. I've never gotten into any of the Monster Hunter games, but ever since Worlds came out and I saw my buddies playing, I've always wanted to give it a shot. So I'm pretty excited about Monster Hunter coming, and I believe it's going to Game Pass for the Xbox players, so I'm definitely going to be hitting that up. There's no excuse for me not to play at least an hour and see what's going on. The one thing is, as I heard, these games are very grindy, which that sort of worries me, but it seems like it's fun grind. Kevin told me Worlds was grindy as hell.
Okay, first of all, there's your first mistake, is listening to Kevin's opinion about anything.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, honestly, every time Kevin's like, yeah, I agree with Brianna, I'm like, oh no, I'm probably in the wrong.
You're wrong.
No, so I understand like the grindiness, like I understand the interpretation, but the thing is, the whole game is about being a hunter. So like, of course you're going on the hunt for the same like creature. It's like, okay, so like one of the things you do is you'll create like you'll get like an armor set, and so you'll have like the headpiece, body piece, leg piece, and boots usually. And sometimes gloves, depending on it. But yeah, so you have like the different pieces. So you need different parts of the monster, and you can't harvest all of them in one go, right? So you have to run the monster like 2-3 times, whatever it is, to get the full armor set that you need. So it's like you're hunting. So I understand like if you don't like Monster Hunter games, it's like, oh, I'm just grinding just to get this armor. This is so annoying. But it's like it's a hunt where you like set up your hunting party. You make sure that you like eat food so that you have the proper like meal to like go into the hunt. You have to have all of the supplies. Like you have to choose which weapon you want to hunt with, because like different monsters fight differently. And there's a lot of depth in the game that makes it feel to me like it's not grindy. I don't know. Maybe
you just made it sound a lot cooler. I will say that. Like, because I thought it was basically just running around an open world, finding something, killing it, getting parts. Kind of like if you were to take Horizon Zero Dawn and just all you do is kill machines.
So imagine if you had to like, I can't even think of one of the bigger enemies. So let's just say you have like a bigger enemy in Horizon, because it's not going to be the small ones, right? Because the small ones are stuff that you just see along the way of the hunt.
Right.
But like you have like a big, like one of them is like there's a dragon. It's called a Rathalos. In Monster Hunter, it's almost in every single Monster Hunter, I think. So it's this big dragon. And so what you do for the Rathalos is you would say like you'd submit a request like, hey, I need a hunting party, and you make a party of 4 or however many people. You set your hunting party. You get everything ready, and then you go on the expedition to do the hunt. And then after the hunt is over, you come back to the hub. Like, so you're not just running around the world. Like you can go in open world areas where you can find some monsters, but for like the bigger hunts, there's like some really giant monsters where you like have to like plan and like you go on the hunt. Like you're specifically
so you're, like,
leaving
setting
the
out
hub
a
to
mission.
go get the hunt.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I do like
if
that.
If you want to get into Monster Hunter's Rise, if it's crossplay, I will absolutely get this game and play with you.
Okay, I'm down. Yeah,
I love playing Monster Hunter, but playing solo is kind of hard.
Yeah,
like it's not like difficult, but like it's just not as fun as like, all right, Ethan, we got to set up for the Rathalos hunt. Like, what are you taking?
Yeah. No, yeah, I've
So
heard nothing but good things about Monster Hunter Rise. I've heard people talk about it better than even Monster Hunter Worlds, which that game took
really?
over the world.
Oh,
People are saying it's
pun
really fun.
intended.
Yeah, I guess so. And then Sunbreak, I think came out earlier this year, and it got really, really good reviews.
I
So
think this
people
is
are
a
always
new
high on it.
expansion. I don't think it's come
No,
out.
Sunbreak came out earlier. Yeah, it was an expansion for the
Did it
Switch
come out on
version that they
PC?
have.
Okay.
I don't know if it came out on PC. It probably did,
Okay.
but yeah,
Um,
excited.
yeah. So this report was from Sal Romano at Gematsu. This next one is going to be from Wesley LeBlanc at Game Informer. Cyberpunk 2077 developer CD Projekt Red has revealed that its upcoming remake of The Witcher will be open world. This news comes by way of quarterly financial call held a few days ago by the company, in which CD Projekt Red briefly touched on this remake being handled by developer Fool's Theory, as reported by VG247. While not much was revealed, CD Projekt Red did reveal in the slide pictured on the article that codename Canis Majoris, which we now know to be the Witcher remake, will be a quote story-driven single-player open-world RPG unquote and a quote modern reimagining of the 2007's The Witcher end quote. This might come as a surprise because the 2007 game was not open world and instead took players through a small hub-like level in the city of Vizima. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Never played the game, sorry. Um, Unfortunately, this slide is essentially all that was revealed in regards to the Witcher remake, and it might be a while before we learn more about the remake, considering that CDPR fans are told fans to please be patient because it's going to be a while until we can share more details when the game was announced last month. So this is probably about all we'll see about for the game for a year or
Yeah.
two.
CDPR takes a while on their games, and especially
Mhm.
after the Cyberpunk fiasco, they're going to make sure very,
Oh, they
very
better.
they're going to pay very close attention to what they're doing. They are not going to release this game if they don't feel like it's a really quality experience. But
Not a
I am
nightmare for them,
excited. Yeah, but I am excited. I never played the original Witcher. I played a bit of The Witcher 2, and of course, I played The Witcher 3 extensively.
Mm.
And I feel like that's most people's experience with The Witcher. Is The Witcher 3 is really when the game blew up and people got into the series, and that's when it got popular. And now, as a TV show adaptation, it has comic books, it has manga, it has an anime, it has so many different things. People are loving The Witcher, and I think right now the IP is very popular. So this would be a great way to reintroduce people into the older games to get some of the story that took place before The Witcher 3. And I'm really excited. And I think the move to go open world single player RPG is a good one because, like I said, most people are familiar with The Witcher 3 and that style of gameplay. And that's the type of game that I love. I love open world, big, expansive RPGs. I'm a big fan of them. I don't know. I'm not an original player of The Witcher or The Witcher 2, so I can't speak to the original fans. I'm really wondering what some of those people think. If they think this is rubbing them the wrong way because they're like, this is just not going to be the game. But I'm sure they're going to do it tastefully, and I'm sure they're going to do it in the sense that they're going to do this right, and the people who loved this game back in the day, I think they're still going to get a good experience. I don't think they're going to betray their fans like that. So even though they're sort of changing up the style of the game, I think they're going to keep it original.
Mm. Yeah, I have not played any of the Witchers. And hopefully my writing professor is not hearing this. Corinne, if you're hearing this, I
Uh-oh.
love you so much. Don't listen. Her favorite game of all time is Witcher 3, and she was very angry at me that I hadn't played it yet, and was also very upset that
Wow.
I wasn't playing it yet. I still haven't played it, and I
It's
graduated like
such a
2
good
years ago now.
game. So good.
So I own it.
It's even worse.
And I haven't played it.
Oh,
I hear that it stands the test of time. It's a little bit old at this point.
yeah.
Not old, but older.
Still looks
Um,
good. Like
that's what I
it,
hear.
it holds up. It really does.
I don't know what it is about The Witcher. I just have and it's like it's so up my alley. I love fantasy.
Yeah.
I have a really weird thing with characters with white hair and silver hair. I don't know what is up. I don't have an excuse for myself, but it's like basically like if a character is attractive and has white or silver hair, I will probably be simping for them. So yeah, so this is like all up my alley, but for some reason just haven't done it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
Feel
a
bad about it, but I don't
grittier
know anything about this, so.
it's like a grittier, more down to earth fantasy, I guess you could
Mm,
say. Like it's more visceral, it's more dark, more dangerous, but
mm,
it's so fun. And like it's cool too because you were just talking about monster hunts and how exciting that can be. This game has a lot of contracts that you can do to go out and find like noon wraiths or werewolves or trolls or something like that. And even
mhm,
the stories related to those little side quests are so in depth, and you get the story of why this person turned into a noon wraith, and like you have to do all these unique things to try and cleanse the land of that enemy.
mm.
It's such a great game. I love it.
How do you think the author feels about all of this? Can you imagine writing
I
a
don't
book
know.
series that gets adapted into a game and then all of a sudden it
Blows up.
explodes?
They're probably sitting on their bed, making money angels. So they're probably very happy right now because I'm
Oh,
sure they're
yeah, no, I'm
getting
not saying
plenty
they're
of
not
royalties.
happy, but, like, can you imagine the feeling of that, of, like, my
Yeah.
game or my book that I wrote has now become
Yeah.
this huge thing?
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be so cool.
That's why I think authors deals to get a video game series. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just feel like that's the best way to do things now. So
Mhm.
much
There is
money in
a
the industry.
couple there's one author in particular, I cannot remember his name. Let me look it up really quick while I'm talking, but he specifically did, like, a interview saying that he wrote the books in hopes that it would become a video game, like,
That's
he
cool.
specifically wrote it. R.A. Salvatore, his
Mm,
most popular character would be Dristorden. He does a lot of the Dungeons& and Dragons writing. He is, I
cool.
believe, one of the original writers on the Dark Elves, if I remember correctly. So if you've not read any of the Dristorden books, I cannot recommend them enough. They're really freaking good, especially the original trilogy. I guess it's not so there's a trilogy that he wrote first, but there's like a prequel to that that's like kind of talks about where Dris Do'Urden comes from.
Mhm.
And that book series, that trilogy is one of my favorite books of all time. It's really, really good. So
Sweet.
highly recommend that. So yeah. Anyways, books and video games are is such a great marriage. But yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and run to this next one. Summer Games Fest.
All
Go ahead.
right. So Summer Games Fest returns with the first ever live show in June 2023. Summer Games Fest is officially returning in 2023, kicking off with a live show in Los Angeles at the YouTube Theater on June 8th. Thousands of tickets will be available in early 2023 for those looking to attend the live show, which promises a ton of game reveals, new trailers, and other announcements. In keeping with the Summer Game Fest tradition, the show will also be streamed on YouTube and Twitch, all hosted by Jeff Keighley. Quote, over the past 3 years, Summer Games Fest has cultivated an incredible community around the world through our digital first events. And now we're thrilled to invite thousands of fans to experience the Summer Games Fest show in person for the first time in 2023, end quote, said Keeley. Quote, in keeping with tradition, we'll have tons of exciting announcements from the developers that are pushing the games industry forward. And we'll once again highlight other publisher digital events, demos, and more surprises to be announced in the coming months, end quote. This is by Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN. Awesome. Summer Games Fest is a good shit. This last year, it's been rough,
Mhm.
but I think that was very much a symptom of a lot of developers wanted to do their own thing, combined with there just wasn't a lot going on at the time.
Yeah. I think a
Because,
lot of games have kind of hit development hell because of the
yeah,
pandemic. I think we're
yeah,
now seeing the after effects of the pandemic like we weren't before.
right, yeah. Summer Games Fest 2022 was a rough show. Go watch our live react. We did a live react to it. It's somewhere
Mhm,
buried deep into our YouTube channel, probably on one of the playlists for live reacts. But that was pretty fun. It's always fun to get together and live react, but the show itself was eh, it was rough. But with it being the first in-person live event, I love an in-person live event. I'm a sucker for it. I love the Game
mhm,
Awards. I think that's going to be fun. I always loved watching all the E3 showcases back in the day when people they had the big stages set up and that you had thousands of people in the arena watching. You hear the crowd cheering, clapping, getting excited. I mean, there's nothing better than that sort of live event energy. And I think that's going to breathe a really good life into Summer Games Fest that I'm excited for. So I'm really, really stoked to do our live react for that next year. And hopefully they do a little better than they did this year, which I'm sure they will. There's a lot more games going on. There's a lot more projects happening. And with it being a live event, you can get a lot more people there and
mhm,
generate a lot more buzz and excitement for it and create
mhm.
sort of a big event around it. So I'm really, really excited for that. Good for Jeff Keighley. I'm hoping this goes far because I want this to be like the mid-year break for the Game Awards. Like,
Yeah.
I want the middle of the year to be Summer Games Fest. Everyone's excited. I know E3 is coming back. Who knows what that's going to look like or be like? We have to wait and
Yeah.
see. But I want this to be our sort of mid-year breath where we celebrate games in the middle of the year, and then we wait until Game Awards to celebrate at the end of the year. So really, really cool.
Yeah, I don't think that this is gonna kill like E3 by any means, but I think that like E3 very much is like starting to move into like a game developer kind of conference where there's like days for fans to play games and then there's there's days for developers to kind of like coexist, right? So I don't think that it's the same thing as like Summer Games Fest, and so I think that this is like a really great show to have mid-year. I also love like Jeff Keighley like posting these events. He's a really cool guy. So
yeah, he's great.
he always has some really cool shoes. Speaking of shoes, you know what I mean?
His shoe game is on point, and he's also really good friends with Hideo Kojima, so you can always expect Hideo to show up at one of these events. That's always exciting. Yeah,
it is. I have while we're on, I'm very excited about this. But while we're on like game shows, are you dressing up for the Game Awards? Because Amon and I both are. And if you have a button up, I would suggest that you dress up. And the reason why is because then we would have only one person not dressed up and it would be really funny.
Oh yeah. I didn't think about it, but I think I might. I think the event I think the event demands a nice dress up. So maybe I'll pull out the old wedding suit or something,
Okay.
I don't know if
Okay,
I probably won't fit in that thing. Good Lord, why did I even suggest that?
I mean,
got
you
the
can just
button up.
even get like a simple button up, like even something simple.
I got a tie.
I just
to
want
throw
I
on,
want
yeah.
people to look at like the screen and be like, one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, there's just this slob in the top
Yeah.
left corner, and then the rest of us are just looking fly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I got you.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds good. The one thing, so I'm trying to decide. So I have a really nice dress that I have. It's off the shoulders though, so I'm like, am I just gonna look naked if I wear it? You know?
Yeah, if it's strapless, it just might look like you're
So I don't think I'm gonna go with that, but that is my nicest dress. So I'll probably go with my other green dress that I
Yeah.
have. So we'll see. I'm trying to decide on my outfit still.
Yeah,
But
suits show off a lot better on camera because it shows off a lot up front, like up by the neckline and everything like that. Dresses are hard to pull off on camera because
yeah,
nobody can see the dress.
I will tell you, it is a very beautiful dress. I have not been able to
Yep.
wear it anywhere, so
I'm even
waiting
gonna
for
throw on
that
dress
event.
shoes. I'm gonna shine my dress shoes. We're gonna throw 'em on.
Oh, see if
Gotta
I
show
don't
it
we
off.
don't have shoes in the house or else I would. I would oh, you know what I can I have indoor I have my pole dancing class shoes. Those are indoor shoes, so I'll wear those.
I don't know what pole dancing shoes look like, but I'm
They're
excited.
7-inch heels, so
7-inch.
7-inch heels, yeah.
Holy crap. That's okay. All right, I'm here for it. Dress
'Kay.
shoes and 7-inch heels.
We'll do it, okay. No one tell you know who, he who will not be named, that we're planning this. Thank you.
Yep.
Watch him, like, listen to this episode. It's, like, the one episode he listens to.
He's still not gonna dress up. He's
That's
still
true.
not going to, even if he knows we're all planning.
Yeah, that's true. He also probably spaced out if he was listening, so
Yep, 100%.
All right, this next one. A Spanish theme park is getting a roller coaster based on the Uncharted games. Aventura World in Tarragona will be opening the ride in 2023, according to a new announcement or video published this week. Although no further information was given on the ride, a supporting tweet showed a compass emoji, presumably to depict Nathan Drake's adventuring, and a roller coaster emoji. Quote, welcome Uncharted to Aventura World. The tweet reads, new attraction, more emotions.
You
This
can't
is kind of
catch me
cool.
dead on a roller coaster. Never in my life. No, I don't do it. I don't like
You don't
it.
do roller coasters?
Nope.
I
Nope.
love roller coasters.
I prefer the ground where humans belong. Okay. I don't.
Okay.
I see no reason to go up that high and to purposefully plunge yourself and risk getting decapitated. All right. I'm not doing it. I don't
How do you feel
trust.
about skydiving?
No, never in
No?
my
Okay.
life. It's
I won't
never gonna
skydive. That's too
happen.
much for me.
I don't trust you, Port Aventura World. I don't know your motivations. Okay. I've never met the guy that runs it. I'm probably gonna get decapitated by your ride. I don't trust you.
Oh my
No.
God. What about water parks, Ethan?
Water park, I like lazy rivers. I like the
Oh, you won't
swimming
do the
pools.
slides?
It depends. It very
Okay,
much
so
depends.
here's my proposal for you. So there's a place in Reno that has super cool water park. I can't remember the name of the water park right now. Reno, Nevada. Um, there is one ride there. You go down a slide and then it spits you out into this swirly thing. They call it the toilet bowl,
I
where you
know
swirl
exactly.
around really
Yeah.
fast and then you go down. Would you do that?
I've been on one of those, and let me tell
Okay.
you, the worst experience of my life. I blacked out. I was terrified. I'm holding on for dear life, white knuckling the tube because it's like it gets you through a traditional. I can do traditional water slides that are like enclosed and you just kind of zip
Mhm.
down and you fly into a pool and you don't
Okay.
really see much while you're going down except like the tube going past you. That's cool. I'm fine
Yeah.
because I can't
That's
see the
fair.
outside. But you put me in a big tornado toilet bowl and I'm just flying around all of these other people.
Yeah.
There's children that I might kill if I hit them hard. I don't
Oh
care
my
about
god.
anyone else's health and safety at that moment. So if I'm coming at you, I'm gonna
Get out of
hit
the
you.
way.
Get out of the way. And I don't want to have that responsibility on me. I don't want to be there. Okay. And it's just too much. All I want is to get down into that hole at the bottom and get into the. I got tricked to go on that one. Nobody told me. I thought it was a regular water slide. I didn't notice that it shot off into like a tornado thing. 'Cause, like,
So
the
it just like
entrance
opened up and you were just like
yeah,
flying.
because like, the entrance to it was in the
Oh my
back,
god.
and I thought there was this big structure there, and I thought it was part of a separate ride that was right next to it. So we get
Oh
on,
my
and
god.
I see the light coming from the end of the tunnel, and I think I'm about to go into the pool, and, like, I can look down far enough, and I see all these little dots, like, swirling down into this hole, and I'm like, "What is about to happen?" It just shoots me out into this giant twirly, horrifying world. And it's like, no,
Oh
I
my
didn't like that one
god.
bit. Nope, don't like it.
That's so funny. I'm sorry, Ethan. I know I shouldn't laugh at your pain, but
Traumatizing. Yeah. Log rides are like
Oh,
the most intense things I can do. Like the ones where it's
okay.
just that one drop and you're done.
So are you like okay, like is Disney okay then since none of those rides are super intense?
I don't really go on many rides anymore when I go to
I
places.
love rides. I like genuinely one of my like one of the things that like my family does is just like especially like my brother and my mom, they go like hunting for scary roller coasters. Like they will go
Mm-mm,
on
nope.
random vacations to try and find like intense roller coasters. Um so
I
I
go
don't think they do it as much anymore, but yeah.
when I go to amusement parks, I watch shows, I eat food, I get souvenirs, and I watch everyone else in my family go on the rides. And I wait for them. That's what I do. I don't care for the chair thing where you get in the chair and it lifts you up and it just swings you around. I'm like, this thing's gonna snap and launch me a mile away. I'm not doing that. Or the ones where they just put you up super high and they just drop you. Like, why do I
Oh,
want to
I
be
don't do those.
dropped?
I don't do those. That's gonna be the no for me. That's why I know I can't go, skydiving is because I can't even handle those drops, like, on those, like,
Yeah.
rides. Like, one time I was basically very just short of forced by one of my parents to go, on one of these rides, and I was sobbing the entire way through the line, sobbing, like, getting in the machine, like I did not wanna go. So, yeah, I will
Yeah.
never go on any of
Mm-mm.
those ever again.
Or like the Viking
Except for
ship
Tower
circle
of
back and
Terror. I
forth.
do Tower of Terror, but that's the only one. But it's
No.
because it's closed, you know?
I'll do the Dumbo ride, the one that's just
Yeah,
kinda goes up and down, or I'll do the
yeah.
teapots. That's cool. But I'm like a 6 foot grown man. It looks weird me just doing it alone because nobody
Who
else in my family wants
cares?
to do those rides.
I'll go with you, Ethan.
Okay, we'll do the teacups.
Okay. I love the teacups. You get going if you get
Yeah.
going real fast.
Or I can't go on a merry-go-round and look normal anymore.
Who
I can't do that.
cares?
No, I can't do that. That's just nah, can't do
Just
it.
live your best life, Ethan. All right,
Just avoid
let's hit
amusement
this
parks.
last
That's what I can do.
story. I don't know. I thought this was interesting, and I
No, it's cool. Yeah, video
probably
game
would
stuff.
go if I ever end up in a Port Adventure World. I won't, but if I do, I'd love to go. Sounds cool.
It
So
I mean, Uncharted seems like a good theme for, like, a roller coaster or, like, an amusement park ride.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
they
They
have
have
the
Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
Jones stuff at
Mhm,
Disney, like, that's right up that alley, I think. I think it's perfect.
mhm.
Good for them.
That's a great ride too. So absolutely, I think that's a fantastic theme.
Hopefully, no
So
one gets decapitated. Maybe we'll be talking about it in a
I have
couple months.
not heard of these decapitation stories, Ethan. I don't know where you're going.
Listen, it's confirmation bias. You gotta seek out the worst stories to confirm your own
Oh, okay.
fears, alright? So
The
I go
place
out
where I
roller
grew up
coaster disasters.
okay, I'm not gonna do that. But the place I grew up, there's a ride called the Mouse, I think is what it's called. So I grew up in Utah. There's a park there. It's a really fantastic park. It's called Lagoon. But this ride is one of those like curvy ones where it goes around the curve really fast, but it's a really short, like then sharp turn.
Yeah.
And so it like kind of like throws you sideways. Well, it's been around for a very long time. One of the times the cart did fall off.
Oh,
They've since changed the
you
design
see?
so it's impossible to fall off at this point. But
I'm sure they said that
earlier
before it came off. All right. So, I mean, look,
earlier it was possible to, and the cart did fall off, and I think a couple people died or
it's never
something.
possible
But
until I get my ass on the ride, and then I'm the one that
oh yeah,
everyone
I'm
writes the
sure.
articles about. And it's like, oh yeah, he died on this roller coaster. That's so
Rest in
sad, so
peace.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
They're gonna redo it.
Mhm.
Thank God.
Exactly. All right, what's this last one? It's your turn to read, I believe.
All right. God of War Ragnarok's director has said he'd like to work on a Castlevania game should Konami be willing to outsource the license to the classic game series, which they will be not. So, speaking during a Kind of Funny Game spoiler cast video published on Monday, Sony Santa Monica game director Eric Williams called on fans to help, quote, make it happen, end quote. If it's not clear how serious his comments were, but he did add, quote, I just got into so much trouble, end quote. He said, quote, you guys can make it happen because you have the audience of the world here. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but if somebody gives me that Castlevania license, I would love to make that, end
Can
quote.
you imagine a Naughty Dog, or not a Naughty Dog, Santa Monica Ragnarok director like making a Castlevania?
I could, but it's never going to happen.
It's
I
never
mean,
gonna happen. But holy cow, if
and
it
you think
happened.
that fans complaining towards a Japanese video game developer has ever done it? Have you seen Nintendo
Especially this
or
company, especially
Konami?
Konami. Konami
Like,
doesn't
look at
care.
just what happened to Nintendo. Nintendo does everything it can to ruin its public image, yet it makes the most money out of everyone else.
Yeah,
Okay, it's never going to happen. However cool it might be. So yeah, you never know.
yeah.
Maybe this is the day things change for us. How cool would that be?
Maybe. That would be so insane. I would probably cry if that got announced. Like,
But you
that's
know what
probably
sucks?
one of
Like
those
if
ones
they
I would cry,
actually
make
did
me cry.
approach him and did this and said, "Sure, we'll give you the license. It sounds like a good idea." We wouldn't hear about it for like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, no way.
And it
But
would be
we
like
would
3 or 4
remember,
we would
Ethan.
remember this, and it's like, "Remember 3 years ago when he just was
We're like, "No
spitballing
way."
on Kinda Funny Games cast?" Like, okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Ugh,
that would be so cool. Just a shout out, this comes from Andy Robinson at VGC. But yeah, I just thought this was a fun story, and also I love Kinda Funny, so thought
yeah.
this was a great shout out and, fun story. I would love for this to happen. They did make a Castlevania TV show, so you never know. It's not 100% out of the realm of possibility,
Yeah.
but I guess we'll see.
We'll see. It's
All
pretty
right.
far out of the realm of possibility,
Yeah,
but
I think it
it's
is.
it's there's
I'm
something
gonna
there.
pretend. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something there,
The
just like a
contract
little
can
spark of
be
hope.
signed, so
Yeah. All right, we have now made it through the news. We don't have
yes.
any listener questions or topics. You can write in, you can tweet at us, or I guess you can tweet at me until Twitter dies. If you have
Mhm.
questions, or you can join the Discord and ask questions there. Feel free to submit questions. But we are now in Limitless. We have a couple
Yeah,
of options here. Um, Last one I don't think we should do until Taylor is ready. But
that's
do
fair
you have
enough, yeah.
any opinion on which we do through the rest of these?
Let's talk
Or if
about
you have
what
a
we're
different
looking forward
one.
to in 2023. I
Okay.
think that might be a cool topic.
Might be a fun one. Okay. I also think that this one that could be a repeat topic because I believe we're going to be having Friday night Gamecast peeps coming
Oh, yeah,
through.
ask them
So I
this.
think I'll ask them as well. But yeah, we should
Mhm,
definitely have a little chat about this. I have now started a Google sheet. I always say
mhm.
Google Doc, but it's Google Sheet. With games coming up soon. So I'm ready for this. What are you looking forward to, Ethan?
There's 2 games that are big on my radar right now. The first one being Hogwarts Legacy. Really,
Mm.
really interested to see how this pans out. I shouldn't say we've never had. I've played Harry Potter games in the past that I've enjoyed, but
We've never had anything like this.
we've never had anything like this. Yeah, exactly. To where you are fully immersed in the Hogwarts culture and you are a student at Hogwarts and it's separated from the movies and it's sort of you're doing classes, you're doing combat, there's a story that goes on, you meet all the different characters. So I'm really, really interested in it. I've seen a lot of the gameplay already. They've done a lot of gameplay trailers for like the combat and everything, and it's looking pretty good. I'm really excited for it. And then the next game is Starfield. I mean, I think that's the game I've been paying attention to for the next year. Bethesda making a brand new IP for the first time in 25 years, praying to God it doesn't get delayed again. Even if it does get delayed, I still think it's going to hit 2023. I don't think this is going to go into 2024 at all. But I'm super, super stoked for it. Bethesda is a very special video game developer to me. I'm so excited to play their game. Anything they throw out, I'm going to play. And just them going into sci-fi. I remember even being a kid playing like Oblivion or Fallout 3 and just begging my own mind, like, oh, please, Bethesda, make a space video game. I think that's been a thing in the Bethesda community for so long. It's like, imagine if they made a space-based video game. And now we're getting it. And it's crazy. And I've seen the little bit of gameplay they put out. We've seen the images. We've seen the dev interviews. We've seen sort of the story that they've made. And we've seen Todd Howard talk about it plenty of times. And it looks like it's going to be absolutely incredible. So can't stress enough how excited I am for this game.
Do you think that they're going to secretly tie it to Fallout?
No.
You don't think so? Where they're like, the Earth is uninhabited, so now we're going out to these other planets?
No, I don't think they're going to do any of that. Bethesda.
I don't think they'll do it outright. I think it would be more of like a.
There might be like an Easter egg type of thing in there. I'm sure there's. Oh my God, it's a Bethesda game, so there's going to be so many Easter eggs and little things you can find here and there. So it's going to be a lot of exploring, hundreds of hours. I'm probably going to be playing this game for 10 years, like I did with Fallout and Elder Scrolls. I mean, Bethesda doesn't make games just to play and put down. They make games to play for a decade after. People are still playing Skyrim, finding new things.
Yeah, you can even play it on like a fridge. Like,
yeah, you can play Skyrim anywhere on your calculator. You can play it probably.
Your smart fridge.
Yeah, your smart fridge. But God, I love Bethesda. I have so much hope they're gonna hit it out of the ballpark. I don't care. I'm gonna say it going in with the hype.
I have to say this has been on my radar, but it's not like again, sci-fi not necessarily my thing. I'm gonna wait and see. Because this is one that I don't have to be in on day one. I'm not like, I need to play this right now. This and Atomic Heart are the two sci-fi-y ones that I'm just like, I'll let other people play.
Yep.
And if it's good, I'll check it out. There's a couple of them that I'm coming, like Hogwarts Legacy, absolutely. I can't decide if I'm gonna go, and because I'm a Hufflepuff. Do I go Hufflepuff? Because like their commons room isn't as cool as some of the other commons room. Like the Slytherin commons room under the lake. That looks so cool.
Slytherin. Come on.
But look how cool that commons room is, you know?
Yeah.
So I will probably go with Hufflepuff. That's probably like where I'm going to be at the end of the day because that's like where my loyalty is.
I think I'm Ravenclaw.
But that would make sense. Like yeah, make sure you take your Pottermore quiz.
So you know where you're supposed to go. On Facebook doing those Facebook quizzes before playing the game.
No, it's like an official Harry Potter website called Pottermore. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Like it's like an official Harry Potter website, like licensed website where you can take like a quiz to tell you what house you're in.
I'll be taking that and I'll choose.
Okay, let me know what you get because I'd be interested. I would probably say you're a Gryffindor or Ravenclaw. Those would be my two.
I've heard Ravenclaw before people saying so.
Yeah, well, same. So I'm excited for that. I'm obviously like Dead Space remake, Resident Evil 4. Like those are gonna be a good time. I think like I'm definitely looking forward to that. The ones I'm looking forward to the most, is going to be The Last of Us. The Legend of Zelda. I read it. It's TLOZ, but it's TLOU for The Last of Us. It's so close. Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I'm really looking forward to this much.
Really excited about that too. Yep.
It's going to be a great time. That's coming out May 12th. So we're coming up on that. The other one that I'm really, really excited about is Silk Song, Hollow Knight Silk Song. We don't have an official release date. They did say 2023, but I don't know where it's going to be. I think we're going to see it at the Game Awards. That was part of my Game Awards predictions. I think we're going to get a release date at the Game Awards for Silk Song. Because it's supposed to be releasing like somewhere in the summer. And this is the last big show before we hit that summer quarter. So I guess we'll see. There's a bunch of other games coming out that I'm excited about. Like Metroid Prime 4 is coming out at some point. Final Fantasy 16 is probably going to be pretty good. I will definitely be playing that. Oxenfree 2 is coming out.
Hellblade 2 might be coming
Yep.
out too. I'm really excited about that. There's 2 games coming out of Obsidian, which I don't know if they're going to come out next year. It's still up in the air, but I want to hear more info on it, which we'll probably
Mhm.
get more next year. That's Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed. Those are 2 games that I'm really
Oh, they're
excited
doing a
for.
second Outer Worlds? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, they
Interesting.
revealed it at the Game Awards last year, I want to say.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it was
Huh,
only like a teaser trailer. It was really
okay.
funny. But yeah, we haven't seen any really thing out of that, so I'd love to see something more.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff coming. The genre that I think I'm looking forward to the most is I think we're getting a lot of MMOs coming up. Like
Mm.
Ashes of Creation, Infinity Nikki, stuff like that. And I'm really interested to see where the MMO genre goes as well. So
Oh, and I wanna
lots of good
see if
stuff.
PlayStation's coming out with more live service games next year. That would be
Yeah.
something
I
interesting
I'm
to see.
really ready to start seeing those.
Yep, they're starting to get to the point where it's like, "Okay, we need to start seeing all these live service games you guys have been saying you wanted to do." So,
The
interested to
Last
see
of
if
Us live
Bungie comes
service
out
is
with
coming
anything.
out.
Maybe if
Yeah.
Bungie comes out, maybe not something comes out next year, or if Bungie just announces a next project next
Mhm.
year, that would be interesting to see. I got my eyes on Bungie. I mean, they're a great developer, and PlayStation just picked them up, so they gotta come out with a bang for their first project, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think we also are like probably getting close to Housemarque announcing their next game. Like not coming out, but I think we're getting close to
Yeah,
Housemarque being
an
ready to
announcement.
announce their next game. Probably in the next year or two. So, oh God,
Yep,
what a time to be playing video games.
it's a good time.
So, yeah, good times. Okay, cool. I think that that will do it for the show. We're about an hour and 10
Yep.
minutes in, so I think we can go ahead and call it there.
Mhm.
Um, thank you for hanging out with me today, Ethan. It was a good
Yeah, of
time.
course. Always happy to be on No Limits.
Yeah, it's a great time. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. You can again find us on YouTube at Save the Game Media. Find us on Patreon, Save the Game Media. Don't forget to check out our Discord, please. If you want to come hang out, come join that. The links are going to be in the description. For now, where can people find you, Ethan?
In that Discord, click the link. Come say hi.
Are
I'm
you going to
nowhere.
join Hive?
No. Kevin already deleted our account off of Hive.
Oh, did he?
Apparently, there was some egregious security issues that came out about the website, so he
Ah,
removed all of our stuff from there. So good. I'm
okay.
glad that he paid attention to that because
I'm
I
glad he was. I was not watching,
did not
so
care about Hive. I don't know what that was. So I'm
yeah,
I'm
I don't
I'm not
either.
on no social media.
Yeah, I don't know either. You can find me at Fabulous Brianna. My last name spelled Brea, or my first name, excuse me, is spelled Breanna. Yeah, you can find me almost anywhere with that handle. It's pretty universal across everything. It's not my
Mm,
gamer tag for the most part, but you can find
nope.
me there for most social medias. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, and I hope you have a great day, week. See you next week.
Peace.